Executive with Orion Lending, and we are going to quickly go through our in-house DPA and grant programs, which are going to allow you to help more buyers and close more loans. All of these for us are handled entirely in-house, no outside review needed whatsoever, which is going to allow for fast closings. You're also going to have direct access to our seasoned underwriters, all of which on my team have over 20 years underwriting experience each and are available to help you troubleshoot when needed. We have coverage in all 50 states, clean underwriting. First-time home buyers are allowed, but it's not required. We have options for all income levels. Non-occupying co-borrowers are allowed. The DTI is per your DU approval. We also do manual underwrites per HUD guidelines as well, but if you get a manual, please email me over the DU and credit, and I can quickly look at it and make sure we're meeting those HUD guidelines for a manual. We offer these on both double wides and 2 units as well. These are open for anyone with a 600 plus score or higher who want assistance with that down payment, and of course meets all of the normal HUD guidelines for FHA loans. We offer both down payment assistance and grants. The down payment assistance is going to cover that 3.5% down payment in the form of a second mortgage. That second mortgage is either repayable or forgivable. For the repayable option, we actually have a 3.5% or 5% assistance. For the repayable, they're going to have monthly payments on both the 96.5% FHA mortgage and on that smaller second mortgage, and that does need to go into the DTI, but don't worry, our system is going to put it in there correctly for you. The forgivable option has no payments on the second, and it is forgiven after either 3 or 5 years of on-time payments on the first mortgage. The repayable is our most popular option simply because it is the option with the highest lender credit for the rate chosen that really helps those buyers out with the closing cost, whereas the forgivable is going to tend to have a lower lender credit on the rate. We also have grants, which is very exciting. This is the one with the most attractive terms. It has no second mortgage, no second lien, but is going to cover that entire 3.5% down payment that's required. It kind of works like a gift, and it is completely forgiven after 6 payments in the FHA mortgage, but it is the option with the lowest lender credit. Make sure that if your buyers are interested in our grant or our forgivable DPA, that they are getting those seller contributions on the contract. Our quick pricer is easy, and when you pop in there and price your scenario, it is going to show you all of the eligible options so that you can compare them side by side. Just a reminder, when you're pricing out DPA or grant loans, these are going to have slightly higher rates than regular FHA. Our repayable boost is going to be the one with the heftiest lender credit, as you've seen here. The 7.75 is going to be the highest credit offered right now on today's rate sheet, but keep in mind, if you are pricing this later, it may or may not be today's pricing, so you do need to pop in, price it out on today's market pricing. The repayable option has the heftiest lender credit, followed by the forgivable, and the grant is going to have the lowest lender credit. So the big question is, what does my buyer need to bring to the closing table? We are going to cover that right now on this slide. So the 3.5% down payment is covered with all 3 options, but you are going to have your other normal closing costs like the lender fee unless you buy it out of the pricing. You can make up to 2.75 on these. I used borrower paid comp in this pricing example, but our boost and elevate does allow lender paid comp as well. I used 10 grand as the closing cost, so that totals 20 grand that we still need to deal with. So the lender credit is going to really help us out on that repayable option and significantly reduce the buyer's funds to close, whereas there's not a lot of lender credit on the forgivables and the grants. So please keep that in mind, and you're really going to want those seller credits. So if we had just 3% in seller credit across the board, the repayable DPA, they would likely come to the table with nothing or very close to nothing, whereas on the forgivable and the grant, only 3% in seller credit. They're still going to need some funds at the closing table more than likely. They would really want a 5 or 6% seller credit on those two options in order to have them coming to the closing table with little to nothing. We're okay with them coming to the closing table with funds. It's just normal FHA guidelines. The borrower can bring those. You can use outside grants that meet HUD guidelines. Gifts are allowed, or a combination of the above. So since our repayable option is by far the most popular, I kind of want to show you just a quick comparison between our Aurora and Boost options that we have available. The Boost option does offer a 25-year term as well, which many of you may know that can help you get a DU approval if it's not approving on a 30-year. The Boost is going to have a 15-year term on the second, whereas the Aurora is a 10-year. Both options, the second mortgage is going to have a rate that's too higher than the rate on the first. So if your rate on the first is 7.5, the rate on the first would be 9.5. DTIs are clean per your DU approval. If it's a manual, Aurora is just per your normal HUD guidelines on a manual. Just a reminder, HUD will never ever let you exceed 50% DTI on a manual. But again, if you have a manual underwrite, please email me the DU and credit and let me look at that with you to make sure we're meeting HUD guidelines. Aurora just has the reserves required per DU, no income caps on either one. Boost allows lender paid or borrower paid. We have coverage in all 50 states. All in all, the Aurora is going to be the option that has by far the cleanest guidelines, whereas Boost is going to require some reserves, but it does result in better pricing if they do have some retirement or some reserves. Our pricing engine is going to show you both options. I also have a handy dandy cheat sheet all on one page that shows you all of the requirements for both. I would happily email that to you. Just shoot me an email to request it. And you may notice this first column mentions a conventional grant. So I want to give you a sneak peek into that as well. It is a grant. It works like a gift. No second lien, no second mortgage, forgiven after 6 payments. You are going to want the full 3% seller credit on these that Fannie Mae allows, simply because there is not going to be a lot of lender credit on this pricing. Also, we do these down to a 620, but it's not going to make sense under a 680 just because there's going to be discount points under a 680. So I would only consider these for your buyers who are 680 plus. If we go with this pricing example at 7.375, we've got a little bit of lender credit. So that little bit in lender credit will help us out with our closing costs a little. But you are going to want those max seller credit to come away and chip out at the rest. So this example that I priced is a 97% loan, so that our 3% grant would cover the entire down payment. But just a reminder, if you're doing a 95% loan, they would need to bring that other 2% to the closing table. I also want to remind you that conventional only allows 97% in one of two situations. One of which is if they are home ready, which is under the 80% area median income caps. Home ready does not require first-time home buyer. The other option is just the regular 97% Fannie Mae conventional, which does require first-time home buyer, but does not have those 80% area median income caps. That's the only two ways to go 97%. Otherwise, you're going to be capped at the 95%. Our portal is incredibly user-friendly. However, if you do want to be walked through your submission, please shoot me an email or my team to request a call, and we will walk you through it step by step. Our system is going to set up that grant or DPA for you, so it doesn't really matter if you've put it in correctly to your LOS. It is going to fix it for you when you pull it in and select the program. You're only going to have one loan number to manage in our portal. We handle all of the disclosures for you on these, and our system has a really nice feature where it will pull in exact title fees from the title company that are not fluffed or inflated. We guarantee that they're right. That's a really important feature on these DPA loans where they may be tight funds to close. We like to get CDs out early, so make sure you pop in your CD conditions listed at the top of the approval so that we can request the CD for you. We don't require an appraisal for a CD. Our system also allows you to run DU and LP side by side and compare the results of each. And we do have an online help chat. They are online 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And if it will start out as automated, but if the automated system doesn't answer your question, you do have the option to transfer to a live person online from 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time to about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you haven't checked out our free broker marketing studio, you are missing out. This is a feature that we pay big bucks for you to have access to. Pop in there. You can access it through our Star Broker portal. Click on marketing at the top. We have pre-designed hundreds of materials for you, including flyers, social media posts. There's even video capability in there. It all looks beautiful. However, if you want to swap something out, there's over 1 million copyright free images in there. You can also change what it says. You can change the colors, the font. Everything is fully customizable. A popular thing my brokers are creating in there right now is listing flyers for the real estate agents or open house flyers, and you can co-brand with them your information on one side, their logo, picture, information on the other. Everything is available in English or Spanish. I hope this has helped you better understand our down payment assistance and grant offerings, and I hope that you are able to help more borrowers and close more loans. Please reach out with any questions, and I am excited to help you with your next submission.